If you ask someone about their financial goal, almost everyone will respond with $100,000 or $1 million. If you ask me, I'll say $1 billion, but that's a different story. And if you ask them, what's the first step of reaching that goal, almost everyone will have no answer. The answer is pretty simple though, and it might shock you. The first step of any financial goal should not be $100,000, $1 million, or even $1 billion. It should be just $10,000. Now, why $10,000? Why couldn't it be $9,000 or $5,000? Granted, the difference between $9,999 to $10,000 is next to none. But you see, $10,000 is a significant milestone for your financial psychology and mindset shift. It's a sort of a level up in the game of finance, hitting that 5 figures mark. How do I know it? Because I didn't come from money. My financial knowledge is mostly due to the mistakes that I've made. And those mistakes helped me build multiple 7-figure businesses. And my life has drastically changed ever since I made my first $10,000. But what do you actually do once you have that $10,000 in your bank? Does it really change everything when you level up to $10,000? Does it change the way you handle money? Or does it make an impact on other financial decision-making process? And we've all heard that term. Money is the root of all problems. So most importantly, once you save $10,000, will it become the reason for more stress in your life? So in this video, we'll answer all these questions in 5 reasons why everything changes once you get your first $10,000. Now, 10 grand is a lot of money. In fact, it's a life-changing amount for as many as 50% of the population in the United States. According to a recent poll, most Americans save but can't cover a $1,000 emergency. What most YouTube videos say that you need to save $100,000 or $1 million to be financially free or cover unexpected emergency. But they fail to mention that in order for you to save 6 or 7 figures, you need to first save $10,000, which is 5 figures. As it's not only easily achievable, but also it's the first step before you get into your 6 or 7 figure bank account. I can tell you, when I saved my first $10,000, I was in disbelief. I kept checking my bank account, looking at the number over and over. It was a major financial milestone for me. And once I've achieved that milestone, it opened a floodgate of opportunities, both positive and negative, which we'll get into later on in this video. Psychological shift. Remember I said that I was looking at my phone over and over when I saw that first $10,000 saved in my bank account? That was my emotional response to having this much money. It's not about the money, it's about what the money represents. Just like everyone else, I wanted to feel empowered, secure, confident, and resourceful. I wanted to have that safety net that I could always fall back onto, and that $10,000 represented that. Sure, those feelings came out faster than the material benefit of that money, which would come when I actually do something with it. But this emotional response can also lead to fear of losing what you have just gained. So how do you balance these feelings and move forward without becoming overly cautious and reckless? When the feeling of accomplishment finally settled in, it was no longer a thing that I aspired to because I had already achieved it. Kind of sort of like you craving a steak for the entire week, and at the end of the week, you finally have it. See, the mental shift that you have after saving $10,000 is very powerful. All of a sudden, every single one of your financial decisions seems more weightier, more significant, however small decision they may be. This feeling works like magic. It rewires your brain into thinking that you got yourself here and you can go even further. Those days that you were just getting by are long gone. You're actively planning on your financial future, which is a good thing, and it's a step in the right direction. It leads to improved habit, and it may cause a lot of stress, which we'll get into later. $10,000 is a major milestone. Next, when you want to save $20,000, your mind will automatically come up with more actions similar to the ones that got you to your first $10,000. But now, you're facing new challenges. How to maintain and grow this wealth without losing the financial discipline that actually got you to your first $10,000. You feel a mix of anxiety and accomplishment as you navigate the new phases of your financial journey. You see, one of the major roadblocks of wealth building is just the feeling of financial insecurities. Life just happens. Your car could break down, or any cost might come up that you're not planning. This $10,000 that you just saved up works as your financial safety. You're no longer worried about that unexpected bill. You feel financially more secure and focus on your future and building wealth. Money isn't just about the figure. It's about making sure your finances reflect your priorities. This psychological shift leads you to new opportunities. Don't get me wrong, these opportunities were there when you didn't have that $10,000, but you were not looking at it in the same light that you're doing it now. Reason being, you have that financial security that you have now. With your newly developed habit that got you to your first $10,000, you can now apply those same habits into new opportunities that present themselves in front of you. You utilize these opportunities to make your next $10,000, then 20, 30, 100,000, and so on and so forth. But in this journey, even a simple late fee can ruin your financial cycles and block you from saving even that first $10,000. How? Let's jump into that. Before that, if you're new here, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Tasvir Mirza. I'm a realtor and a diversified investor. I realized that the butterflies that I got when I saved my first $10,000, it wasn't an accidental situation just for me. It happens to all of us. Hence, I decided to dive deep into this and share my thought on this topic. If you're into this kind of videos, feel free to join the community by subscribing below. And while you're down there, consider liking this video so you can reach other viewers like you. Improved financial habit. Pattern of success in anything is figuring out what helps you get that small wins and repeating those actions over and over. Our brains are incredibly well designed to observe and detect patterns. $10,000 in the bank that you have now is a product of you figuring out how to save that by small steps. But now you're more conscious about your spending habits. You start paying closer attention to where your money is going, cutting unnecessary expenses and making smarter financial decisions. But as you improve your habits, you might also be focused on saving so much that you forget how to enjoy your life. After I saved my first $10,000, I immediately understood what had worked for me. One of the biggest issues for me in the past was my late fees. I had forgotten to pay my bills sometimes, which was adding up the interest and the late fees, which would eat into my next month's budget. If I had any unexpected expenses the following month, I would be in a financial hole. I had to force myself into rewire my brain, never missing a payment and never pay those late fees again. Similar to that are your subscription fees. They could also add up, even though they're small in size. However, if you have a bunch of them, it can be a significant amount at the end of the month. Paying late fees, if it was just causing some extra money, which was still okay. But we often overlook the long-term damage and often way more costly damage that it causes in overall financial life cycle and future wealth building. And that damage is on our credit score or our credit worthiness. You see, wealth building or achieving financial freedom is a cycle. It revolves around good financial habits and money management practices. If you were to buy a property or a car, you don't want to spend all of your savings. You want to utilize bank's money to invest to make you more money. This is going to build wealth for you in the future in the long run and put you in the financial freedom that you always dream of. However, in this cycle, a simple late fee can cause a huge roadblock. Let me explain that cycle to you. The first step of the wealth cycle is your financial responsibility. When you go to the bank or apply for a loan, whether it is for a property or even a credit card, the bank first wants to see your account statement in most cases. This is to see how much money you have and how good are you with budgeting this, how much money you earn, and how much you spend from it. This is also to see that if you're paying your bills on time and how you're managing your debts effectively. This is the first step for the bank to evaluate you on your financial responsibility to see how your credit worth is. The second step is your actual credit score. The bank pulls your credit score to see what's your score between fair, good, or excellent, ranging the score from 300 to 850. The credit score depends on your bill payment history, which is about 35%, credit utilization, which is about 30%, which we'll get into, the length of credit history, which is 15%, how long have you had your credit card or any debts for, credit miss, which is 10%, that means type of loans you have. As you see, your bill payment history is how often do you miss your payments or you pay late fees. It's 35% of your score. As I mentioned before, the late payments are one that affects your credit score drastically. The next step is your credit utilization. The credit utilization is how much credit do you have available to you and how much do you actually utilize. The best rule of thumb is to utilize 20% of your credit utilization ratio, which means if you have a credit limit of $10,000, you should never let your balance go over $2,000 within the statement period. I explained that in much more details in this video here. I improved my credit score from 300 all the way up to 800 in this video. Besides credit utilization, the bank also evaluates the type of credits you have. Your credit card history is different than your car payment history or your property history or your mortgage history or the payment that you have on your iPhone. The type of credit also has a huge impact on your overall credit history. The next is your loan assessment and approval. In this stage, based on all the factors prior to that, your loan will be approved, and this is now up to you how you handle this loan. Based on this, we'll go back to the point of your financial responsibility. This will be evaluated again on the next loan or credit worthiness check. If you've understood this finance cycle and take your finance seriously, comment well cycle below. I'll heart all of your comments. Now that you've tightened all of your spending, eliminated all the waste spending, and started seeing your bank account was growing even more, but now you're in a new predicament. How much do you actually save and how much do you actually spend? As I mentioned before, money is a tool for happiness. Therefore, when you have the money, enjoy your life because you only have one of those. But the question still remains, what's the balance between how much should you save and how much should you spend. As you continue to refine your financial habits, the next step would be how to invest your money wisely. Money should be working for us and making us more money as opposed to just sitting in the bank account looking pretty. But investing has its own risk as well. We'll get into that in a little bit. As far as enjoying life, striking a balance between saving and spending is the best way to go. Money is a tool for happiness, a balance that keeps you happy, and at the same time it does not stress you out over money-related issue. I was able to enjoy the benefit of my hard work without losing the sight of my long-term goal. This approach set me up for a continued financial growth and personal satisfaction. And if you're satisfied with this video so far, like the video below proving that you're not a robot. Stability mindset. As I've mentioned before, saving $10,000 is a milestone. Once you get the feeling of saving $10,000 and seeing 5 figures in your bank account, saving after that becomes easy. You don't really feel compelled to repeat the financial decisions you took in the past, but you're also more likely to expand them in other areas of your life. You apply the same process of saving $10,000 into $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, then $100,000. The sky's the limit. You force yourself to save more. You become more disciplined. You find different ways of making money, a better paying job, or a side hustle or business venture. Maybe you do all 3 or just one, maybe something completely different. And you all get to do that because you have the comfort of that safety cushion. It was a great habit that matured within you and made you who you are today. However, it also comes with its risks. Having that money in your bank account looks good, feels good, but the freedom that you get from not worrying or worrying less about money and having that safety net is priceless. You don't have to worry about the next few months' rent, maybe car payment or any unexpected bill, car maintenance or medical bills, which sets you up for further success. Having a rainy day fund after not having one my entire life indeed was empowering on its own for me. You have the cushion that you can land on and you're not falling behind. You can rest on it and soak in the financial comfort. You can actually focus on what truly matters, your future, or any ventures that you're invested in. This mental stability makes you little daring. You become a risk taker. You know that saying, scared money don't make money. At the right time, this daringness or the risk-taking mentality can be a good thing. Money brings a lot of new opportunities, both positive or negative. It could be anything. There might have been a job in another city which has great future potential, but at the time you were not able to take that because of the moving cost. Or maybe there's an investment opportunity that you weren't able to take advantage of due to not having enough money saved up. When that $10,000 is secure, you can now start taking risk and grow your financial journey. I'm sure you're familiar with the term Murphy's Law that says anything that could go wrong will go wrong. But I don't want you to focus on that too much because 90% of the things that we think might go wrong usually don't go wrong. But that 10% that usually goes wrong, enough for us to put us in a hole. For instance, an emergency medical bill or your car all of a sudden decided to give up on you. In these cases, the $10,000 cushion is a lifesaver. Not necessarily $10,000 will save you getting into all this financial hole, but in most cases, it will save you from digging a more deeper hole. But remember, that $10,000 was pretty hard to come by, wasn't it? It can also go away pretty easily if you dare too much or take too much risk. If you don't follow the same saving methods that you used to save that $10,000 and don't replenish that after using the fund from it, you'll be falling right behind in that cycle. Now, you won't be able to build wealth just by saving $10,000 over and over. Don't get me wrong, you will be able to save a significant amount, but for the entire life, you will just be saving. You won't be able to enjoy your money. One way you can build wealth and enjoy your money is by investing it. But it does come with a lot of risks. And if you're not careful, you will soon see that savings will disappear. What are those risks? Let's jump into it. But before investing all your savings, start investing yourself by joining the community below. I make videos like this, which help me get out of the financial turmoil that I was in. And it should also help you as well. Consider joining the gang by subscribing below. Investment shit. With $10,000 saved up, next comes investment. I mentioned this before in my other videos that investing should be boring because the actual safe investment tends to take a long term to return. And to make wealth, you need to be patient when you're investing. For some people, day trading and investing into risky securities does work out, but most of the time, unfortunately, the losses are significant, which not only takes out your profit, but also the principal. Financial products like mutual funds, index funds, or saving accounts as stock portfolios that you only have heard about in YouTube videos are actually achievable when you have $10,000 sitting in the bank account. One of those videos like that is right here. Every investment has risk associated with it. And personally, I wouldn't recommend if you have only $10,000 saved up to invest that entire $10,000 into any security or investment product. You should only spend or invest $10,000 if you have $100,000 saved up. However, if you only have $10,000, consider investing a portion of it in life. In the worst case scenario, even if your investment goes south, you'll still have some money saved up that you can fall back onto. That unlike passive income, where you invest your money that works for you and brings you more money, it cannot be the other way around. This is why those options I mentioned earlier are more viable. I wouldn't recommend trading stocks on a daily basis and watch charts all day, as investing into an index fund would allocate your money and distribute properly into most of the major stocks or mutual funds. Will get that sorted out. They're basically a collection of carefully chosen assets like stocks and bonds that will grow over time without you losing sleep over it. Long-term approach. Now, speaking of investment, with the mental stability and overall improved habit, you have set yourself up for a great financial future. Now, it will be a great time to start thinking about buying a house or paying off that mortgage if you already have one. If you're behind on owning a property, getting rid of that student loans or any other long-term loans despite their low interest rate is still a good option. That will benefit any investment that you will make in the long run. See, the bank always expects more money than the amount that they give out. Remember the wealth cycle? The bank evaluated you with all the steps just to make sure that they get their money back with a profit. That's the reason why they're profitable, and that's their business model. Regardless of the amount, you should definitely consider getting rid of the loans or student loan that you may have. If you want to learn more about the worth of a college degree purchased with a student loan, you can find that out in this video. This is because no matter what the service is, bank always charges more than whatever they give out. So paying off those loans will mathematically be more profitable than other passive investment ideas. If you're behind on your owning a property, then this is the right time for you to definitely consider buying one. Now, buying a property and living in it, is it a good investment idea or not? That's a whole another video by itself. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like to watch that video. But owning a property is a milestone. It's an asset that can be utilized in a rainy day situation. It's an asset that appreciates in value, and you have a piece of property and you can call it your own. As I said before, money is a tool for happiness. If your hard-earned money cannot provide you any type of happiness, then what's the point of having money? I don't want you to be so frugal that you only save for retirement and enjoy your life after your retirement. By now, you have established strong financial habits, explored investment opportunities, and set long-term goals. So what should you do with that $10,000? The answer is clear now. It was never about the money. It's about that freedom and opportunities that these financial milestones provide. And what about the stress that the money brings? We were stressed out before we had the money. Even though that was for a different reason, now you have options not to stress. See, having this $10,000 is a reason now where we can do a lot of things that we never thought we could do. See things and opportunities in a different light. This is not the reason to stress. Since we already learned the process of saving the first $10,000, now it's all about replicating and making more out of it. Life is super unpredictable. We don't know what our retirements hold, and if we're gonna make it to retirement after being so frugal all our life. Therefore, that 1,757,567th vacation plan that you and your friends were thinking about taking, take it. Join the sports club, change your car, or get a new watch. Whatever thing or experience you feel will bring you joy, do it. However, before spending it, consider your obligation prior to splurge on those things that make you happy. Don't go in debt to make yourself happy, because in the long run, the debt will supersede the initial satisfaction that you're going to get from those material possessions. Now, I know that I said that you should spend money on things that make you happy. However, there are some things that are just so bad that you should never spend your money on. What are those? Find that out in this video. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to this video. Does it change the way you handle money or make an impact on other financial decision?